Welcome to the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast Video Edition. This is part 2 of my interview with Tyler, where in this episode he's going to be talking about having to go camping for ham radio because there's not a lot of people out there that are doing this, the Morphlate and its evolution and how it's changing his life, and then we go through a few fun Would You Rathers. I hope you enjoy. So, going back to the contests.
Okay.
And so you've done a few.
I've done a few contests, yep.
What's the biggest achievement you've gotten in one of the contests?
Oh, man. I've won a really nice bottle of wine, a couple of them. I've won some nice beer mugs. I have not won a broom or a Swiffer yet, unfortunately.
But they don't only... If you did a Swiffer or and you contacted everything that you were supposed to contact, it's not always a broom, right? I mean, it could have been a bottle of wine. So have you done a Swiffer? Have you done a sweep?
A sweep, yeah. So I've done a sweep, and you get a sweep, and you get usually some kind of prize, something. So I've gotten a few of those. Every year I go out to Alpine County in California here, which is up in the middle of nowhere. Okay. It's one of the least populated counties in the state. And there's a contest in California called the California QSO Party. And the goal of this contest is for all the other states to try and contact every single California county.
Got it.
So that's how you get a clean sweep in this contest, is contact all the counties. But because Alpine is there's nobody lives in Alpine County.
Right.
There's nobody that really works the airwaves in Alpine County. So we have to send people to Alpine County so that other states can contact Alpine County and get a clean sweep.
Oh, that's funny.
So if we don't have anybody in Alpine County, and it's the hardest county to get people to go out to because it's up in the middle of the mountains.
Right.
Like the lowest elevation, I think, is 6,000 feet. It's up right where South Lake Tahoe meets the Highway 395.
Oh, okay.
So right there, Monitor Pass, Leviathan Peak, right around there. Right on the other side of Minden, Nevada.
Okay.
So you drop off of the mountain range there and you're in Minden in Gardnerville.
Yes.
So that's that county there. And like the lowest elevation is 6,500 feet in the county. So I go up there at 8,000 feet in the middle of Monitor Pass for a weekend, the first weekend of October, and set up a big antenna. All on a 5 kilowatt power generator with a laptop and a table and a tent and everything with my uncle for the weekend with a 600 watt linear amplifier.
Yeah.
And, activate Alpine County. And I'm one of 2 people. So there's only 2 people. If you're trying to contact Alpine County during this contest, you can only contact 2 people. And I'm one of them.
That's
for
crazy.
Each year. So it's fun. It's a camping trip mixed with an off-roading, off the grid, kind of almost not really a survival situation, but it's like running radio equipment, making communications in an off-the-grid situation scenario in the middle of nowhere at 8,000 feet. So it's pretty fun. The first year I did it, it was 19 degrees in the mornings, and it was extremely windy, and it sucked. It was terrible. The second year I did it was actually very pleasant. It was a very nice time.
Does the wind affect the radio waves?
No, not at all. Yeah. Rainstorms and storms affect radio waves really well.
Cloud cover?
No, actually. The way it actually affects radio waves, it quiets radio signals when it's raining. You would think it would be the opposite. It'd be loud.
Yeah.
So when it's raining, you actually get very quiet radio waves. It cleans up a lot of any kind of white noise background, because a lot of HF, when you're talking long distance on ham radio, is done through AM, which is what CB runs on. So you get that white noise, background noise kind of thing. So when it's raining, you get a quieter signal generally. However, if there's lightning going on, anywhere between you and the person you're talking to, you hear these crashes on the radio signal called lightning crashes. Okay. And it's just a quick while you're talking to them, like little pops. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And that could be going on if you're talking from here to Massachusetts. If there's lightning anywhere along the path that your radio wave is taking from here to Sacramento to Massachusetts, you'll hear those lightning pops.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat, kind of interesting thing. So yeah.
All right, you ready for this one?
Yes, get me off of ham radio, or unless it's another ham radio question.
Ham radio or wheeling?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's probably, I mean, obviously in the past year or so, it's turned into more wheeling because I've stopped doing as many contests. I was doing 4, 5, 6 contests a year, maybe more. And contests, they just suck up the entire weekend, which is unfortunate because my day job.
A wheeling trip.
Exactly. So I have to choose one or the other, right?
Gotcha.
Because my day job, especially during the summer, my day job sucks up all my weekends.
Right.
So I have to be very choosy. I only get maybe one weekend a month, one weekend every other month, to have free and do what I want.
Okay.
So I've been filling those 1 weekends off per month with wheeling.
With wheeling, not ham radio.
And not ham radio. However, I think that if I had a Monday through Friday style job, that I would end up doing both just as much as the other. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So here's an off-the-wall question.
Okay.
Do you have any favorite books or what book have you gifted away most often?
Good question. I would say my favorite, I don't read a lot because my attention, I can't read. I just sit there and I get bored and then my mind wanders all the time and I end up reading the same page 10 times. The only book series that has been able to hold my attention has been the Harry Potter series.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Harry Potter series, and that's about it. I can't sit down and read. I got to do something. I got to be up doing something or changing things all the time. So
yeah.
The Harry Potter series, the book that I've most gifted people, there was a book that I was actually telling quite a few people about. One, if you are not necessarily entrepreneur out there, but if you're trying to do your own project, just kind of start your own business and run your own business, there's an awesome, amazing book by Tony Hsieh.
Okay.
About who's the founder of Zappos, one of the founders of Zappos. And I'm going to forget what the book is called now. But it's an awesome, awesome book about really kind of his story, how he got into running Zappos and the position that he's at, and the different businesses he's kind of come up with and ideas he's come up with and built throughout time. And really the key cornerstone from everything that he's done, projects and everything, has been customer service.
Right.
And just making sure that no matter what, your customers enjoy interacting with you, enjoy getting whatever product you're selling, whatever value you're bringing to them, that they truly enjoy it, and you're making it as easy as possible for them to enjoy it. So it's a really, really good read. It's the Amazon effect. Amazon makes it super easy and efficient to take money from people. So it's an awesome book. We'll have to put it in the show notes because I'm going to have to look it up. I have it sitting on my dresser, but I'm really bad with remembering names about stuff. So
nice.
That book.
All right. If you could have any 4x4 rig and price isn't an issue, what would it be?
That's easy. That's an easy one. A Rivian RT1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you build it up or would you do it? I mean, would it kind of be tough to talk about it because it's not really out yet?
Exactly. It's not really out, so I don't know what characteristics it's really actually going to end up having. From the displays that have been at the auto shows and the stuff that's been leaked about the vehicle and what they're claiming it's going to have, it's not going to have any axles. It's going to have 4 independent motors that are all going to be able to control and know when each tire has traction. So it's not going to have lockers.
Right.
You don't need them. It's not going to have a drivetrain.
Right.
They're designing the entire bottom skid plate of it that protects the batteries because it's that skateboard battery design. The whole bottom point, they're designing that whole skid plate underneath to be able to point load the entire vehicle and withstand it. So they'll essentially put the vehicle on a singular point on the middle of that skid plate, balance it on there, and it won't do any damage or get through or bend the things out and won't damage the vehicle at all.
Dang. All right.
So to be able to say that you're making a truck that can point load on a battery tray
yeah,
is pretty crazy.
I wonder how like point load or point impact might be different.
That's a good question. So it is going to be a very heavy truck because of all the battery arrays in it. It's going to be able to have a very fast charging time. They're saying something like 30 minutes charging for the full, like to get 400 miles out of the battery packs. The top end model is going to have a 450 mile range.
Dang.
Something like that. It's going to have a built-in, I want to say 2 kilowatt power source. Mm-hmm. So you can run 120, 220, which means you can bring your 220 welder on the trail with you. It has a frunk space.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty big. Like it's a pretty sizable front trunk space.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole bed is your typical, I think, a 6 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot bed. There's a gear tunnel underneath the back seats. So you can put camping gear, what stuff you need to stay dry.
Yeah.
So clothes, sleeping bags, stuff that tunnel with. It's going to be very comfortable with a lot of amenities inside. They're going to have an auto dimming roof. So it'll be a glass roof.
Oh, cool.
That is controlled through electronics where it'll turn dark if you want it to be dark or come completely clear if you want it to be completely clear. So it's going to have all that. There's a lot of different stuff going into this truck. So it's really going to be interesting to see how it really turns out in the end. But if it turns out anything close to what they're claiming, I want one of those.
Nice.
So,
yeah. Did you happen to see the all-electric rock crawler at King of the Hammers this year?
I did not. I heard there was one there.
It was in the Fox booth, I think.
Oh, I didn't see it. No.
It had maybe 6 yellow top Optimas in it, but they said because they're geared appropriately, and they're running really big tires, but they said it takes a lot more effort to crawl over a rock.
I can see that.
Just drive along the road.
I can see that. Yeah.
So they said that their run times while they're rock crawling is like 30 minutes.
Yeah, there's a guy that lives in the NorCal area that has an electric Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
And he just took one motor. I don't know if it was a Tesla motor, what motor he used, but he put it into a Samurai. He's got a little battery array in the back kind of thing. And he says that he gets about 20 to 30 miles when rock crawling with it.
Yeah.
And he said it's really cool because the regen, when you're going downhill, the regen helps regen your batteries and recharge your batteries. But
think of that.
What he does, he carries a generator, like a little Honda 2,000 watt generator, and will run that on the trail if his batteries are getting low.
Right.
So and those things
a little bit of gas for that.
Yeah, exactly. So a tiny bit of gas for that to run for the entire weekend, and electric, and
that's cool.
Stays pretty quiet, and it's a pretty cool, interesting rig. So
very nice.
Yeah.
This question doesn't have to be about radio or 4x4ing.
Okay.
What is something you have failed at?
Oh, man. Life in general.
I don't think so.
But that's a good question. What was one thing that I failed at? Here's a fun fact. I did fail out of college at one point.
Oh, yeah?
Failed out of college, and it was a combination, some family circumstances going on at the same time, me dropping out / me flunking out. And then I moved up to Sacramento and kind of restarted and passed with flying colors from there on out. But so I guess that, what would be something else I failed at?
Why do you think that, all those things came together while you were living down in the home area, but you succeeded so well when you moved up to Sacramento?
It was a combination of the main situation that was going on at home that was just causing me to, I don't want to say lose concentration. It was necessarily making me do other things and take care of some other people.
Right.
And because of that, I just didn't have time to make it to classes.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah.
Nice. What is an unusual habit that you absolutely love about yourself?
I don't know if it's really unusual. I'm finding that it is more and more unusual than I had previously thought. And it's, I don't know if it's more of a habit than it is other things. So I have a slight dyslexia. Mm-hmm. And what causes dyslexia is not necessarily a speech impediment per se.
Sure.
What causes dyslexia is that people who have it generally are thinking 3 steps ahead of what they're saying. Or the other thing is that they're thinking of the entire thing of what they want to say before thinking of the part that they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's usually an issue, and it's not really an issue. It's a condition where you see the forest before the trees, mm-hmm. kind of thing. So I'm always, instead of looking at, the engine of a vehicle, I'm looking at the entire vehicle,
right,
and seeing, how does everything work together to make this one workable system? Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a nuisance, because then I'll start talking with people and people will be referencing something of the vehicle, and I'll be like, oh no, this over here, and because this here and this there. And it ends up leading to a lot of, I don't want to say arguments per se, but it ends up leading to me saying, no, because if you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, it's going to lead to this result that I was trying to tell you about earlier.
Sure.
And then it turns into me saying, I tried to tell you that earlier, but you wouldn't listen. And so it's a really annoying thing that I think I have to learn to control when I'm kind of talking or interacting with people, and just be patient and say, okay, I can see where we're going to end up, but that person doesn't see it yet. Uh-huh. And part of most of life is getting people to understand your ideas, right? Sure. So being able to be patient and walk people and just say, okay, we're going to go through this step, and then we're going to go through this step, and we're going to go through this step. Okay, now we're finally at where I want us to be at.
Right,
Thank you.
Caught up to me.
Thank you for catching up. So I think that's one of my annoying things, I think. And I know I annoy certain people with it. I know I annoy my fiance quite a bit with it, and that's been a big struggle of just calm down, okay? Just let her work her way through it at her own pace, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And she does the same thing too. So she's extremely smart, and she kind of does the same thing where she'll be talking about one thing, and I'm like, wait. Hold on, we have to work our way up to that. She's like, why can't you just see that this is what I'm talking about? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm dyslexic as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I was diagnosed with it, like, in elementary school.
Oh, yeah?
And I had the worst. I'm horrible at spelling, mm-hmm. and I mix everything up. But I do think it's a strength to an extent.
Yeah.
Because there's, I can see things a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't necessarily faster, but it's just I look at things differently than mm-hmm. other people. And I think because of that, mm-hmm. I have a different view of, and how things happen. So, it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, we're all human. We're all a little different, and we mm-hmm. do things a little slightly different ways.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like in elementary school, like they wanted to put me in that special class, mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't need that special. Like I'm not there. Like I'm a normal kid. Like what's the matter? Mm-hmm. And I constantly fought like to try to continue to prove myself that I am good enough to stay in normal school.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually it got to a point where it was like I was actually now moving ahead faster because I was pushing myself so hard to prove to others that I am normal.
Yeah.
When I just have this little tiny quirk in my head that lets me see things slightly different.
Yeah, it's funny. My family, the guys in my family are borderline Asperger's.
Okay.
And so what that means is that we are extremely strong in pattern recognition.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where sometimes we value pattern recognition over social etiquette.
Sure.
And that's when you start crossing that line. That's when you get into Asperger's kind of stuff. And so I try to make a really hard point to, I recognize patterns very easily. They stand out to me, and I will try and stick to them over social etiquette a lot. And then every once in a while I have to be brought down and say, Tyler, you're being a jerk. And I'll be like, okay, no, you're right. I'm sorry. Kind of thing. So, yeah.
Nice. All right. What is one of your favorite or essential items that you purchased for less than $100.
Toilet paper. No, Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
I'm gonna rail off a bunch of stuff here that's I think are very important to me.
Ready to go.
No. Girl Scout cookies, toilet paper, WD-40 is another good one. Penetrating lube for engines. Let's see, under $100.
Yeah.
Recovery straps. Let's see, under $100, soft shackles. Those are awesome. Under $100, handheld radios. Probably the most valuable thing. For $25 on Amazon, you can have a ham radio. Another $15, you can get your license. And it's really just etiquette crap. Like, don't interrupt people on the radio. Don't be a jerk. No playing music over the radio. Then you have to start paying royalty fees. But for $25 and $15 license, that's easy to get. 9-year-olds get it. You can have emergency communications. So, biggest bang for your buck there, under 100. Let's see what else. Under $100. I think that would be like the biggest things.
That's a pretty good list right there.
So there's going to be some point where I'm going to end up stewing over that. And later on, 15 minutes from now in this podcast, I'm going to blurt out an item. It's going to be on that list. Yeah.
Might come in our next little section, but I got one more question for you before we get there.
Okay.
How has the invention of the Morphlate changed your life?
Ooh, that's a good question. It right now, currently, it's just made my life a lot busier.
Yeah.
So it's kind of at the point where it's becoming a bigger business than what I can handle on my own. So I'm going to need to start hiring employees, which is awesome. I'll be able to start, helping other people provide for their families and themselves, kind of thing, which is really cool in and of itself. It's not quite to the point where I can quit my day job, but it's growing at the rate where I might be able to do that as my full-time job and create really a standalone business and a very profitable business by the end of the year, where I'll be able to decide if I want to quit my day job, where quitting the day job will be do I want to do it rather than can I do it?
Right.
So it's coming along pretty well. I like it a lot. Everybody gives me great feedback. So that's another really cool thing, kind of like the podcast. We've been getting awesome feedback, and it's really kind of cool to say something that you're creating, that you're doing, other people are enjoying it, and it's bringing value to somebody else's life and happiness and enjoyment to somebody else's life it's a really cool thing. So right now it's definitely enriching my life. But it is making me a lot busier right now. So we'll see how much that continues. I do have kind of some things in the pipelines for the Morphlate that will hopefully hit here in mid-June. And I'm hoping by the end of summer, I'll have another really, really cool device for it, all settled and ready to go to market by the end of the summer season as we get back into snow wheeling season. So
nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so this next section is just rapid fire questions.
Oh,
so
okay.
Kind of first thing that comes to your mind, answer, and they're, for the most part, they're pretty simple questions.
Okay.
But it's just like, what's your favorite color?
Green, neon green.
What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, probably Christmas.
What is something that you should have never bought, but you still did?
Ford Focus. A Ford Ranger. I'll play a Ford Ranger.
Nice. Okay. What's your favorite 4x4 trail?
Barrett Lake, hands down.
All right. How many Facebook groups are you a part of?
I don't know the number off the top of my head. I'm a part of a lot, but I really only stay active in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. So 3 to 4 of them.
All right. How many radios do you own?
Shit. Shoot. I own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to say 12. We'll stop there. Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you including the ones in the rig? Like
yes.
hard mounted?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite fast food restaurant?
Oh, I would say In-N-Out, but it's not my favorite. I know that. Habit Burger, maybe.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Habit Burger.
Nice. Okay. What high school did you attend?
I attended 2, Tulare Western High School and Mount Whitney High School.
Okay.
So,
what is your favorite type of alcohol? And if it's beer, what is the type of, or what is the style?
I really, really like Nutty Browns. Okay. So like a Newcastle or a Nutty Brown Ale kind of beer. During the summer, I really like wheat beers, something light. During winter, I really like heavy beers. So a good porter, nitro stout. A good like chocolate nitro stout.
Okay.
Amazing. Peanut butter nitro stouts, love them. Nitros, anything, awesome. I really enjoy wine. So I have a couple of wine clubs at different places.
This isn't a quick response.
No, it's not. Okay, sorry. And so my favorite wine is going to be Zinfandel. There's a particular year of Zinfandel that you can get up in the NorCal area during 2014-15 during the King Fire, which was a massive fire up in the Amador County wine area. It left smoke on all the grapes. So the Zinfandels that were picked from 2014 grapes has a super smoky, charred flavor to it.
Ooh,
and it's from the King Fire, and it's amazing. So every time I find a bottle of 14 Zin or grapes 14, I buy like a case of them from wherever I'm at. So
sweet.
Zin, and then, of course, and you're going to laugh, Fireball.
Really?
Just because it goes with everything. If you want to add cinnamon to anything you're drinking, it goes fantastically. And you can add anything tastes better with cinnamon in it. So
we just stopped being friends.
It's okay. You had a Jeep Cherokee, Trader.
All right, last one. What's your favorite flavor?
Flavor? Garlic? I'm going to go with garlic.
Garlic milkshake?
Yeah, garlic milkshakes are going to be great. Garlic Fireball. Oh, man.
There you go.
It'd be
Can
terrible.
I get a Manhattan garlic flavor, please?
Just add 2 cloves of garlic. It'd be great.
I have a garlic mocha. Yeah.
No, it gets really bad when I used to do a lot of whitewater rafting. So that's another kind of not necessarily known fact about me. I was a guide for 5 years on the South Fork, Middle Forks American River. I also did the Tuolumne while I was around that area. But I was notorious for making garlic mashed potatoes for the overnight trips.
Yes.
And pissing off some people because I made them too garlicky. And then the next day I would eat all the super garlicky ones and people wouldn't hang out near me.
Yeah.
So
you'd be a bit stinky.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to move into a fun one of Would You Rather.
This will be fun. Okay.
This is awesome. I got some good ones too.
So for those who don't know how this game works, how does it work, Jimmy?
Okay. So I propose 2 items and it really comes down to which one would you rather do.
Okay.
And none of these are raunchy, so you don't need to turn off the radio.
Earmuffs.
They're all appropriate.
Okay.
And they're pretty intense. Actually.
Like camping?
Huh?
Like camping?
Like camping.
Cool.
Would you rather have no taste buds or be colorblind?
Colorblind. I love food and I love flavors and I love flavors of beer and wine and alcohols and foods and garlic, as we just talked about.
Garlic.
So I would rather have my taste buds.
All right. Along those lines,
Mm-hmm.
would you rather never hear music again or lose the ability to read? And I think I know the answer to that.
I'd rather lose the ability to read. Because everything's on YouTube now, so I can just watch YouTube videos for any information I need.
Yep. All right. Would you rather get stuck in traffic or always have slow internet speeds?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, man. Just because I'm now so desensitized to being stuck in traffic, because I drive through the Bay Area a lot during rush hour traffic, which sucks. I would rather be stuck in traffic. However, if it comes to the Bay Bridge toll plaza, I would much rather have slower internet speeds.
Sure.
That toll plaza sucks during and everybody's out to kill each other, and everybody's trying to find any way around that they can. So there's 15 lanes there, but you end up with 25 different lanes of cars because people are just squeezing in anywhere they can. Hate that place.
Yes, I agree with you. Yep. This one's great. You ready for this one? Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
Talk like Yoda, I rather would.
Nice. Would you rather win $50,000 or let your best friend win $50,000?
Ooh.
This will say a lot about our relationship.
I would probably let my best friend win $50,000. Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think I've positioned myself well enough where I don't really need to worry about money. Now, if you're going to say $500,000, that's a different matter. But $50,000, based on my income and kind of where my income's going to be, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, and I think I'd rather let my buddies win it. So, yeah. I
think one of my best friends always tells me, if I ever win the lotto, we're retiring.
Oh, totally. Yeah. 100%. I would take a couple of people with me for sure. Yeah.
And if he won $50,000, I know I would get something. So.
Yeah. No, if I won the lottery, that's an interesting topic. I would probably start a whitewater rafting company.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably, build my own shop.
Yeah.
And invest a good chunk of it. Because once you invest into the market, as long as, the historical valuation or return on investment, the ROI of the stock market is 7%. Mm-hmm. It may go up and down from year to year, but you can pretty much say if you're going to be in stock market long term, you're going to get 7% return on investment.
Okay.
So if you do the math on that, if you invest $2 million, or let's just say you invest $1 million, you're going to get $70,000 a year return on that investment.
Yes.
If you get $3 million invested, you're going to get 7 times $210,000 a year return on your investment.
Yep.
So it's like, I just got to win the lottery once, and then I can retire and I can live off, $70,000 to $100,000 a year, no problem. So,
yeah, that was actually one of the would you rathers. It was like, if you got, a lump sum of money, would you spend it or invest it?
Oh, I would totally take the full lump sum of money at once and invest it and then live off the investment returns.
Yeah, I would. If I got a lump sum of money, like, $1 million, I would invest by far more than half of it, and then have like $100,000, $200,000 of play money.
Yep.
That's probably something I would do.
Yep. Compounding interest
it's
is
easy to say that now. When we don't have it in our
compounding interest is an amazing, amazing investment thing. So
definitely.
Yep.
All right, I got 3 more questions for you.
Okay.
Is there anything you would want the listeners to know about you?
I'm 6'4".
You already have
190 pounds. I was going to say, do we have female listeners, or is Jesse Combs listening?
Yeah,
or is Dirthead Dave listening?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there something?
What about Zach? Your infamous.
Oh, Dax Shepard. Dax Shepard. If Dax Shepard is listening, and it's funny because he kind of claims to be slightly bisexual, so I'm a little concerned by what it means if Dax Shepard is listening. But I don't know. That's a good question. Is there anything I want the listeners to know about me? I have no clue. I'm an open book. Ask questions.
If you have any questions from podcast at Sierra. Dang it, I did it again. Podcast at SnailTrail4x4.com.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. I'm a very open book. I will never try and hide anything from people. Yeah. I think that life is too short to try and keep information about myself. I don't think I'm anything spectacular. So if people want to know anything, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll tell you, but I don't think I'm anything spectacular. I don't think that there's anything like crazy to say about me, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Gotcha.
Let me know. What are your questions?
There you go.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for somebody who is brand new to off-roading?
Work your way into it and go off-roading. Go off-roading. Go off-roading. Go off-roading. Go off-roading. There's so many times I see people that are like, I want to get into off-roading and how should I build up my rig and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, go off-roading.
Yeah.
Learn what the limits of your rig are and then build it depending on the limits of you and your rig.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, hydro assist wasn't really that big of a deal because I could still get around on the trail just fine without it. But it's getting to the point now where I really, really want hydro assist.
Right.
And whereas for somebody else that like wants to depend on their front locker being on all the time or wants a Detroit locker in the front or something, then maybe hydro assist is a higher priority for you.
Right.
So, but you need to be able to wheel your vehicle and learn what those limits are and what the limits for you personally are. Like I'm willing to pull my tires through an obstacle with my front locker on and maybe make a couple more turns, but that maybe somebody else is not willing to do that.
Sure.
So, go off-roading, learn a lot, educate yourself. That's the whole part of it. It really hurts me to see people get into it and spend $50,000 building up a rig. And then they're like, I don't want to off-road it. I've spent too much money on it. And I'm like, no, that's the exact opposite of why you should be building an off-roading rig. So, and you can have a ton of fun. You'd be surprised at what vehicles can do with just four-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be surprised how far away from society you can get with just four-wheel drive and then how far you end up getting away when you break something. So, everybody needs to go through those experiences of breaking down on a trail, what it's like to break down a trail, be in that situation. You need to know just what it's like so that when it's going to happen again, it's going to happen. It's going to be inevitable.
Yep.
It's like what I tell people when they go snow wheeling. A lot of people get super, super frustrated and pissed when they go snow wheeling. And I'm like, why are you getting upset? Like, because it's so hard, I can't go forward anymore. And I was like, that's snow wheeling.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to get to a point where you cannot go forward anymore. And that's when you just say, oh, okay. Do I want to spend the next 4 hours trying to get the next 100 yards? Do I enjoy that challenge? Or am I like, okay, let's have lunch today and then turn around and go home?
Yeah.
So you're going to have experiences on the trail. You're going to have bad experiences. The most important part is to realize that everybody has them. It's not just you. It's not just your vehicle. Your vehicle doesn't suck.
Right.
It's just a matter of off-roading. It comes with the territory.
Right.
So enjoy it and do a lot of off-roading.
Cool. That's a good one. Last one is, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully on off-roading trails. We talked a little bit about this, I think, in the last episode, about, trying to, build a vehicle for a big mudding event and then go down to the South and spend a week 2 weeks doing mudding events in the South, or build a vehicle that can go across the country on dirt roads and go that way. Build a vehicle for high-speed desert racing, or build a KOH vehicle and go do that. Like, I think it'd be really, really cool to be able to do that and have those experiences and then share those experiences with everybody out there that maybe not have the abilities to do that kind of thing. Nice. So, I think that's where, if I'm in that position in 5 to 10 years, I will be super happy and life will be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you are. That probably means I'm there too.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Well, that summarizes Tyler in about 20, 30 questions right there.
Nice. That was fun.
Yeah. We did learn some great information about you. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks for asking and putting all the questions together. So.
Well, that concludes my interview with Tyler. I appreciate everybody watching. You can find us, or this whole entire discussion, plus our general banter and some events and things going on, all on the podcast. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link down in the description below. If you want to watch my interview, it'll be right up here. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, keep crawling.